Cameroon is a developing country located at the cross of Western and Central Africa. Its ethnically diverse population is among the most urban in Western Africa. The capital is Yaoundé, located in the south-central part of the country, and the official languages are English and French.
The population size of Cameroon is 23 million, and the population growth rate is 2.6. Cameroon currently sits at a GDP of $24 billion and has a low Human Development Index of 0.58, which ranks 153rd in the world.
Cameroon has a high prevalence of poverty, HIV and AIDS infection, and gender inequality.
We are the Empowering and Educating Women of Cameroon, or EEWC. Our organization mission statement is to work towards the development of rural Cameroon villages. We focus on increasing women's health care, improving family planning, and reducing the gap of gender inequality in education.
Our focus for this particular project is Babessi, a town located in northern part of Cameroon. Our vision is to implement specific educational programs and training in Babessi. We hope to reduce HIV prevalence, increase contraceptive use among women, and provide quality educational opportunities for women.
Women in Babessi, Cameroon are twice as likely to be diagnosed for HIV/AIDS than men. In addition, 60% of women with HIV/AIDS are in the age group of 15 to 24, and 1 in 20 pregnant women are HIV positive.
According to the CIA World Factbook, contraceptive use in urban areas is 34% and only 14% in rural areas. Of the women using contraceptives only, 46% use condoms, 28% use injections, and 14% take a pill. The unmet need for family planning resources was 24% in 2011.
Low rate of family planning practices in rural areas can be explained by the need for partner approval, fear of side effects from contraceptives, lack of access, culture barriers, and lack of education.
After researching and analyzing the issues, EEWC has decided to allocate our resources to promote women education, family planning, and sexual health in relation to HIV/AIDS. We plan to work with Cameroon Association for the Protection and Education of the Child, or CAPEC, to introduce sexual education programs in both primary and secondary schools in Babessi, and to teach adolescent boys and girls about sexual harassment. We also hope to work with Strategic Humanitarian Services, or SHUMAS, to offer small scholarships to families that are committed to sending their daughters to school on a regular basis. We envision that this will promote female education in the region.
We aim to use educational programs in the schools to empower young girls and women. We also plan to work with SHUMAS to install electricity and running water in Babessi schools in order to improve children's quality of education. And finally, we plan to increase funding to help treat and medicate those affected by HIV/AIDS. We also plan to work with Family Planning 2020 with the United Nations Foundations to provide contraceptives in the form of condoms and injections to schools and local health centers in the village of Babessi in order to increase access.
We will pay for the training of local midwives in order to provide them with modern medical insight. With this knowledge, they can assist with sexual health programs and family planning in the community.
One possible risk we may face is cultural tension in regards to contraception and family planning. In order to minimize these tensions, we plan to have local teachers and midwives teach and educate the village population instead of having foreigners come in.
We also plan to work with the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation to improve the lives of those living with HIV and AIDS and prevent further spread of the disease.
45% of our budget will go towards infrastructure. We will improve schools and health facilities by equipping electricity and potable water and building roads for increased accessibility.
20% of our budget will go towards salary. This includes the money that will be paid for the trainers and local teachers and midwives of Babessi. Salary for EEWC's trainers include housing, food, and other accommodation costs.
Another 20% of our budget will go towards program cost. This will include programs such as sexual education programs taught in schools, programs that train and educate midwives, and scholarship programs that encourage families to send their daughters to school on a regular basis.
10% of our budget will go towards materials. This includes costs for items such as condoms, injections, medication, and any supplies such as books or other materials needed in the school and health centers.
Finally, transportation, which makes up 5% of our budget, will account for the shipping costs of all materials to Babessi and paying for the U.S. trainers and educators to travel there.
In order to evaluate our work done in Babessi, EEWC plans to remain in the village for 2 to 3 years in order to successfully implement the programs, and then phase out gradually to ensure the local community is sustainable on its own.
To track our progress, we will look at the rate of contraceptive use before and after implementation and continue to record every 2 years. We'll examine literacy rate of women in the village and how it relates to the retention rate of girls in schools.
Finally, we will track and record HIV prevalence in Babessi and focus on providing care and reducing the annual number of new cases. We hope to ensure our goal of empowering and educating women in Babessi through our progress tracking efforts.
By the end of our project in Babessi, Cameroon, we hope to successfully educate and empower women and leave a lasting legacy that can be sustained throughout generations.
With your help, the Babessi project will become an example for organizations that help regions in need around the world.